Hi everyone, welcome back to DR Sports and welcome back to our coverage of Wimbledon. It's Sunday, day 7. And look, I know we normally run a live stream. Apologies that we're not bringing that to you tonight, but they will resume from Monday. Today is just a kind of a short roundup, just to have a little look at some of the best results and performances and talk about what we saw today. But the live streams will be back, and I'm going to miss having the you regulars who have been jumping on and chatting with us, whether it be me, Lee, AGT. Pippa will be returning this week as well, so we're looking forward to having her back. So lots to come this week on DR Sports' coverage of Wimbledon, so make sure you check all that out. Hit the subscribe button, wherever it is, down under the screen. So that you are kept up to date with all the videos and everything we're doing on DR Sports covering Wimbledon. It's been another fantastic day of tennis. I had no doubt it would be. But I mean, I've got to say, this tournament just keeps throwing up great matchups and great games. We obviously had Wawrinka Sinner very early on in round 1. We had Kyrgios going to 5 sets. We had Andy Murray in round 2 versus John Isner. We've seen Djokovic and Nadal worked at times where they seem to be finding their best. We've seen, Kyrgios Tsitsipas in round 3 and Sinner versus Alcaraz in round 4, which we're going to touch on in a little bit. So every round has just thrown up some fantastic matches. And then, of course, all the upsets on the women's side of the game as well. That Serena Williams match versus Tan. I thought Paris-Jabeur as well, good game. Swiatek, the upset that we saw yesterday. So loads of fantastic tennis just going on every single day. And I'm sure week 2 is going to be exactly the same. Let's go straight into it. But before I go into it all, I just want to talk a little bit about what we saw on Centre Court today. The legends returning, to celebrate 100 years of Centre Court, being hosted by Sue Barker and John McEnroe on Centre Court. I've got to say, I thought it was very, very special. Tim Henman there as well. And you saw some of your more modern day legends, the likes of Rafa, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Andy Murray come out. Then you had Rod Laver as well. I think you had Bjorn Borg there. I think he was there. Venus Williams came out. Billie Jean King. So many just phenomenal, just legends of the game. Just legends of the game. Legends of Wimbledon and Wimbledon champions. And yeah, I've got to say, I thought it was very special. And when John McEnroe called out Roger Federer's name at the end, and the standing ovation he got, I got to say, I found it. I thought I'd find it harder that there was no Federer at Wimbledon, that there was going to be no Federer at Wimbledon this year. I think the tennis has been outstanding and everyone's been brilliant. But Federer and Wimbledon, it just doesn't. I thought it wouldn't feel the same. So to be able to see him come out, though, and still grace the crowd, and then when he was asked, will we see you again? He sort of said, we'll see. And I really hope we do. I really think Centre Court deserves one last dance from Roger Federer. As you can see, big fan, so I'm really hoping that we do get to see him back on Centre Court. Let's talk about the games that did go on today, and we've got to start with Centre Court and Novak Djokovic, who was part of the ceremony earlier in the day, then had to wait a long time while a lot of tennis went on, some really good games as well, before he was able to come out and play his game against Van Rijthoven. And look, I'm not going to say too much on it because I'll be very honest, I didn't catch the whole game. But I caught a lot of the second set and, basically from then on, actually. So I caught most of it. But you know what? Djokovic is back at his best, isn't he? And listen, we've seen him sort of stroll his way through. I thought that first game against Kwon, he was given some issues, but he just looked unbelievable. And Van Rijthoven was throwing some big serves at him, was trying to be aggressive and on the front foot. By the way, he's got a lovely one-handed backhand, Van Rijthoven, and I'm always going to be a fan of one-handed backhanded players. But he gave as good as he has. They're actually saying that this was his first competitive game that was a best of 5 sets. So you can see maybe later in the game, he ran out of ideas, Tim Van Rijthoven. He didn't quite know how else to mix up with Djokovic. Maybe started to tire. There were a few backhand rallies where he got the first one-hander back, he got the second one-hander back, and then on the third, it just kind of, when the racket just kind of slips out your hands and maybe he was tiring, I'm not sure. But he's a very talented player, and he gave Djokovic, problems, and Djokovic made sure to, clap him off as he left. But Djokovic was just supreme, dealing with the service. Returns were unbelievable. Rallying, consistency, just always hitting it deep to the back of the court. Yeah, Djokovic I said he was my favourite to win it, and he's now starting to show that form. He was probably showing it earlier, to be fair. But sometimes with Djokovic, you kind of think, yeah, he came in, did his job, and went off. But watching him a little bit more closely today, I mean, yeah, some of the winners, the drop shots, he's got it all. And I think it's perilous for anyone who stands in his way. But there have been some other fantastic performances. Let's stay with the men's singles, and I've got the results here. We've got Jannik Sinner, who beat Alcaraz in 4 sets. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm just picking up Jannik Sinner's results from the tournament, because we need to just take a second to appreciate. He's into the quarterfinal where he'll face Novak Djokovic. He's beaten Carlos Alcaraz, the 5th seed. He's beaten John Isner, who knocked out Andy Murray, did that in 3 sets. And he beat Stan Wawrinka in the first. So he's not had it easy. He went to 4 sets against Ymer as well, the Swede, in the second round. So he's not had it easy, the 20-year-old. But he's been brilliant. He's been really, really good. And what I like about him, the bits I've seen, I watched a little bit of his Wawrinka game, I watched a little bit of his Isner game, and I was trying to watch as much of the Alcaraz game as well today. What I like about him is there's no obvious weakness that I can see. And look, I'm only really judging of what I've seen of these championships. But he's got a very rounded game, solid two-handed backhand, a good serve. He can rally. I've got to say, he can get around the court. I think he's looked really, really good, Jannik Sinner. And he's had to beat 3 real names in the game in only 4 rounds to get to Novak Djokovic, and he's there. He'll meet him in the quarterfinal. I think that's going to be a fantastic game on Tuesday. I have to say, I'm keeping an eye on that. As for Carlos Alcaraz, I feel bad. I've got to be honest. I hold my hands up. I haven't watched as much of him at this tournament as I should have. I actually went into the tournament not really knowing much about him at all. Obviously, his record going into it is good. And everyone, especially you guys on the live chat, saying you've got to watch Alcaraz. This guy, I think he's my tip to maybe surprise us and do something. Now, I think Sinner just had an overall game today, an overall more complete game, and a consistency that I don't think Alcaraz could really deal with. But Alcaraz, he does show there's some real star quality. He's got that Nadal. I'm not just saying because he's Spanish. He's got that Nadal-esque kind of. When Sinner did hit it sort of cross-court, he'd be charging and then just absolutely lash a forehand, down the line. And he's shown that a few times in this tournament, that sort of sprinting across. You think he's not going to get it, and he pulls out this wondrous winner. So he's got some immense talent there. He chases every ball. And he's only 19, and Sinner's only 20. And I think these two, they keep up this momentum. I think they could go really, really far. They went into this tournament the 5th seed and 10th seed, so they're clearly doing well on the tour. They're getting those ranking points. They're up there, and I want to see them go further because they put on a good game today. Fair play to Alcaraz winning the 4th after a difficult start, but you could see he wasn't as. I mean, if we just have a little look at how many break points each they had, so Alcaraz didn't convert a single one of his 7 break points. Whereas Sinner managed to earn himself 12 across the game. So Sinner not broken once. And if I'm right, Sinner wasn't broken against Isner, but he was against Wawrinka. So, he's last 2 games, he's not been broken, Jannik Sinner. That will bode really well for him going into the Djokovic game. And he seems to be finding that consistency on his serve at the right time as he's going later into the championship. So well done to Jannik Sinner. I'm really looking forward to his tie with Novak Djokovic. I think that's going to be absolutely fantastic. Let's go back to some of the other results from the day. Is there any more? My bad. Laptop's just having a few problems. Let's just have a little look at. Oh, of course, Cameron Norrie. I was about to say, was there any other men's singles to talk about? Of course there was. Cameron Norrie on court 1 in 3 sets as well. I'll be honest, I didn't catch this. I did watch the highlights though. Listen, what I like about Norrie is what an aggressive player he is. Big on the forehand, big on his serve. And the 9th seed has booked his place in the next round against David Goffin, who in 5 sets beat the 23rd seed TFO. Now, Goffin, every now and again, will get to a quarterfinal, and he likes Wimbledon as well. And I've mentioned it a few times. I've seen him play Wimbledon a few times, and I really like him. I mean, he's a very solid player, pretty good all round. But what a game! He's 7-6, 5-7, 5-7, 6-4, 7-5. There wasn't a lot in it, and there was a tiebreak in there as well. TFO, I think, has had a good championships, but yeah, Goffin Goffin, did it in 5 and from 2-1 down. So fair play. He went the distance, Goffin, when it was looking against him. And he'll meet Norrie. And I think that's going to be a fantastic matchup again. So we've got 2 fantastic quarterfinals locked in already. I'm really, really excited. I could see a 4-setter and a 5-setter there. Let's go to the women's singles. So I caught Heather Watson, who exits today at the round of 16, the 4th round. What to say? Firstly, she's going in unseeded. Fair play. She got past. It was her milestone getting past the 3rd round. She's, struggled over 12 years to get past that. She's had some agonising defeats. But she did it. She lost to, if I just get her name right, Jewel Niemeyer. I think I was calling her Niemeyer earlier in the week and absolutely butchering it. But Niemeyer. And, Nima beat her 6-2, 6-4. Now, if I'm just double check, I think Jewel Nima, she's young. She's 22. Yeah, 22. Again, like Diane Parry, who I saw the other day against Ons Jabeur. I thought she looked at some fantastic young stars coming through. But Heather Watson, I think, she wasn't great in the first set. There are too many really silly errors, like volleys into the net, where she should have just been punching it in and winning the point. And I think she'll be really frustrated with some of the points she missed, some of the unforced errors that really shouldn't have happened. But Nima showed fantastic flair, I thought, actually, today. I thought some of the shots she hit, just showed some real, flair's the word, just real quality. Just showed that she's a very sort of exciting young player. Heather Watson, goes 2-love up in the second set. You're thinking, okay, maybe she started to build momentum. She's putting that first set behind her, but she couldn't really get back into it. And, it's fallen away for her. And listen, fair play. She's had a good run, but the championships end there for her. I wasn't able to catch any of the other games, but Bushkova did beat Garcia 7-5, 6-2. Obviously, Garcia knocked out Emma Raducanu. So after a tricky first set, it looks like the second was a bit more straightforward. And in 3 sets, Ostapenko, the 12 seed, has been knocked out by Maria 5-7, 7-5, 7-5. So they pushed each other on every single set. And Ons Jabeur, in an 11-9 tiebreak, wins 7-6, 6-4 against, let me get her first name right, Elise Mertens. And Ons Jabeur looking the favourite for me to win it now. So, as I said, some fantastic tennis, fantastic games, really tight ones across the day. Of course, this is the first Sunday back in a while, actually. Sorry, I'm hiccuping. This is the first Sunday back in a while. So, it's been it's been fantastic, and I just think Wimbledon on Sunday just makes sense, doesn't it? We're all switching off after the end of a long week. You want to watch some tennis. Let's have a look at the women's singles for tomorrow. Cornet versus Tomljanovic. That's on court 2 at 1. The 4-seed Badoza versus Halep. That's going to be a great game on centre court around 3:30. Anisimova against Tan, who of course knocked out Katie Bolter yesterday and beat Serena Williams in the opening round. And Rybakina versus Martic on court 1 as well. And let's have a look at the men's singles for tomorrow. Garin versus de Minaur on court 2 at 11. Kubler-Fritz at 2:15. Of course, I should specify that this is the rest of the round of 16 games. So we're going to have the second half of the quarterfinals all booked in by tomorrow. Nakashima-Kyrgios on centre court at 1:30. That will be the first game of the day. And then the evening game is Van der Zandschulp versus Rafa Nadal, who's also looking back to his best after his tremendous performance against Sonego as well. And I just want to say, actually, obviously we're doing the live stream, Lee, Judges and I, and we're very focused on, the Kyrgios game, what was going on at the time. We didn't get to talk about Nadal. Apparently he was fantastic. But that Kyrgios-Tsitsipas game of the tournament so far, I just think those two were absolutely fantastic. The game had everything. Do I like everything it had, really, in terms of a purist and in a perfect world? Maybe not. But it definitely added a spice to it. It added some heat to it. And I think it was a really, really great game. The press conferences since they've been telling. So Wimbledon has been absolutely delivering, and I think there's so much to keep an eye on. Can a young Sinner push Djokovic? Djokovic, Nadal, they're still going. What are we going to get for Cameron Norrie, who's flying the flag for the Brits? And then you've got de Minaur, Kyrgios. Can one of them throw up a surprise? Maybe Fritz as well. Listen, what a week. What a week. And I think the second week's going to be just as good. And I'm really looking forward to it. Big thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Get in the comment section to let us know how you're feeling after the first week and where it's leaving you and your predictions, how you're feeling about it all. Smash a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel so you get all the latest from DR Sports, including the transfer stuff, the Euros that starts this week, and of course, all our Wimbledon content. Guys, been a pleasure. As always, a big thank you. See you on the next one.